Confirm you can see my screen now.
Yes.
Okay, that's great. That's great. So I'm coming. Let me share the YouTube
Anyway,
to.
just coming up, Sha. The screen is just coming up.
Okay. Mhm. And the four. This is 1, 2, 4, 5. Okay. Share. Hello, guys. I'm talking. Please, time reach now. You are just jumping from here to there, jumping from here to there. Hello, guys. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
Hello.
We can hear you, but we can't see
I'm
your
I'm I'm
screen.
I'm so sorry. My network is. I'll share again, please. Network is just frustrating. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I don't know. The weather was looking cloudy, and I just kept observing it whether it would be good by this time for me to start now, and everything is just misbehaving. I'm coming. Okay. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, sir.
Is my
Yes,
screen
sir.
is my screen visible for you guys?
It's very much visible, sir.
Yes, sir.
Please, guys, I'm so sorry about what is going on. So sorry. I think with this now, there will be done something to it. We are together, right? You can see my screen now. Please confirm.
So we cannot see your screen, no. Yeah, it's visible now.
It's up now, right?
Yes, it's up.
Okay. We can start now. This network has taken 15 to stay too long today. What was I saying? I was saying that initially this class was we are usually surpass 100, sometimes 90 something, but over the last few classes, I observed that we have dropped to around 50 something, at most 60. Just do what is best for you. But if you are taking SFM, please don't miss any class, right? Whenever up in our last class, I think this was where we stopped under covered interest arbitrage. We talked about the discrete I applied here is continuous, but if you have an example it is continuous, use discrete, right? We mentioned that. Then I also explained the discrete formula. How to apply it. The various the features, like each thing there where you have RUS, RUS and RUJP and all those kind of things, what they are, the rates, and so I believe everybody understand the covered interest arbitrage. If you don't understand, please read up. But if you were in the last class and there is something that is still confusing you, now this is my question. If you were not in the last class, that means you want me to explain all over, and I will not do that because of time. I hope you guys can hear me.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
However, if you were in the last class and there is something about that is confusing you, because so if you were in the last, not clear about this is your chance now. Ask your question before we continue. Anybody? Any hands up? Any hands up? Anybody? Any hands up? Okay, so it means we've all gotten that. We've all gotten that, and we are good to go. So the Eurodollar futures. Eurodollar futures are a different kind of futures. Now we've been talking about the futures or futures contract. We've been talking about futures contract, right? When it comes to Eurodollar futures, they have their own, is a peculiar type of futures, and they are only traded in a particular market, right? So we have the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. That's where Eurodollar futures are traded. They have a notional value of $1 million. That means the size, and they are traded every three months, right? Every 3 months. So in your icon pack, the Eurodollar futures is, if you're solving a question and you hear that it is a Eurodollar contract, this is how you apply it. It's different from the normal futures, right? So when you are applying you are solving a question and it is a euro dollar contract, you know that you are applying something different from the normal futures that we've been talking about. Okay, somebody said I should zoom in. That's a bit too much. I think this is fine. Okay. So my target for the euro dollar futures, we solve it one or two of these examples. I will explain some things when we get there. Then we look at the interest rate forwards. I will introduce the forward trade agreements and we'll call it a day. I'm looking at 10:30 for this class because I have things I need to do after now. All right. So that's the objective for today. So what is the euro dollar futures? Let's just go into business of the day. Euro dollar futures. Interest rate risk arises when businesses and individuals are uncertain about the future interest rate, right? That's all we've been talking about. You're uncertain about the euro and the interest rate. The previous one we're looking at is exchange rate you want to take from one country and all those things. So when there is uncertainty, be it an exchange rate or interest rate you introduce, but this one we are looking at interest rates mainly with euro dollar futures, right? For example, a business planning to borrow money in 3 months does not know what the interest rates will be at that time. To hedge this uncertainty, forward and futures contracts can look in to hedge this uncertainty, forward and futures contracts can lock in interest rates for the future. We've been discussing all these different hedging techniques. So when we look at the euro dollar futures, we also look at how they can be used for hedging, right? So look at that as well. So a euro dollar futures contract is based on $1 million and 3-month deposits earning LIBOR. We all know what the LIBOR is, right? I brought in the full explanation or the full meaning of it here. The London Interbank Offer Rate. It is the interest rate, like the name implies, is the bank lending rate, right? So, which is the interest rate at which large international banks lend to each other, right? The 1-month euro dollar contracts work similarly. So let's look at it. Euro dollar futures work. So if LIBOR is 1.5% for 3 months, basically before we go into that, this is your euro dollar formula, right? This is your euro dollar formula. Is simply your futures price minus the annualized LIBOR rate. Now, why is it important for you to pay attention to this? When I was talking about the euro dollar futures, I mentioned something. I said the notional value or the size is usually 1 million naira. The interest rate and the contract is usually for a 3-month period, right? So if it is annualized, it means that whatever the interest that applies to that contract is, you need to multiply it by 4, right, to bring it to the annual distance, because it is a 3-month period, right? So multiplying it by 4 will make it 12. So you multiply it by 4 to bring it to the annual rate, right? So if current LIBOR is 1.5% for 3 months, so it means for 3 months interest rate we have 1.5, right? So if you multiply it by 4, you get the annualized rate, which will be 6%, right? Since LIBOR is quoted annualized on the annualized basis, so when you come to your futures price here, it is 100. The euro dollar futures price will be 100 minus the annualized LIBOR rate. Please, is this confusing to anybody? Do you have any question about this? Okay, no question. Okay, so if there is no question, so we know that 1 multiplied by 4 will give us the 6%, right? So in this brief example that we have here, our futures price will be equal to 100 minus 6, which is 94, right? So from this formula, who can tell me what you observe? What do you think the relationship between your LIBOR? What do you think will be the relationship between the LIBOR and the futures price? Anybody? I'm interested in your answer. Let me see those that have foresight. Oh, there are people waiting for me here. So, yes, what do you think the relationship between your LIBOR and the Eurodollar exchange futures will be, rather? Anybody, please? Anybody? Somebody answer. If you don't answer, we'll end class here. Hello.
Hi. Sorry, please, can you
Okay,
ask
Aaron.
the question again, sir?
Please, can you
I
come again,
said,
sir?
given the formula that we have here, right? What do you think the relationship between LIBOR and the Eurodollar price will be? Because we want to go into a little bit tricky part in this
The relation, the relationship is
explanation. And if you get this understanding of this relationship,
the relationship is direct
Hello?
relationship. As the LIBOR
you
increases,
annualized
it's
LIBOR
inverse
rate,
rather.
right? So it means that every change in LIBOR mm, is inverse. Okay, that's what I wanted to hear. Somebody is asking a question. Okay, is inverse, that's fine. So an increment in LIBOR will reduce the euro dollar, right? So this idea is important for you to understand how the hedging works, right? Because when you start hearing short the euro dollar futures or long it to hedge, whatever your target is, you understand how it works based on the movement of LIBOR. And when we are talking about LIBOR, we are looking at basis points, right? So somebody asked me a question. Let me see that chat. Where will I see the chat again, Biko? Uche, I can't see your screen. Please, sir, what page are you reading from? Okay, Uche Favor. Oh, my bad. I did not number the pages on this note that I'm giving you, and that's wrong. I should be numbering the note. So I can easily direct you to the page I'm looking at. Can I do that quickly? And let me do that quickly and share with the class. Let me do that quickly. Hmm, Insert footer or page number. Bottom. Okay. So I think we have page number. This is very important. Okay, that's why I need to do it. So I can easily point out things like this. So we should be on page 38. Hmm. So the last page is page 38. So let me share this again with the class. So whichever one you have open right now, Uche, you need to close it. 34. So everybody should see it now. So let me close. Sorry, I have to stop sharing my screen right now so I can open the updated note, right? So let me stop sharing. So please confirm you can see my screen. Okay. So let me see. Where was I? So Uche, I can answer your question with ease now. So go to page 34. Uche, go to page 34, right? That's where we are. So where was I? Where was I, please? Those days in secondary school, if our teacher wants to flog us, there is this thing they used to do. They will say, "Oh, yeah, tell me the last thing that I said." For those of us that like making noise in class now. So the last thing that I said is what?
Tell me the
That I
last thing
said,
that
right? The last thing that I said is the last thing that I said.
you said.
Sharp
You
guy.
were asking about the
Where's the
relationship
last?
between
Where did
labor.
I stop? And that.
You were therefore, if labor were
Uh,
6% at the contract's expiration, relationship between labor
okay, no
and
wahala.
future price.
Thank
Student
you,
journey.
thank you, thank you. Yeah, so I was thinking you said the last thing that I said is the last thing that I said. You we are looking at um the relationship, right? So I say you need to have that in mind so that when we are looking at how to hedge, you understand it. It's very simple, okay? It's very simple. Okay, so I also mentioned that LIBOR is moves along with the basis point, right? So there are a couple of things you need to know about the euro dollar. I've already mentioned a few, but there is one very important one, and that is here, this part of it. I will still explain it, but this was where we are. So we have a small example just to explain this formula. Say therefore, if LIBOR were 6%, so if LIBOR were 6% at the contract expiration, the futures price would be 100 minus 6. So please always have it in mind when they say Eurodollar futures, this is what you are applying, not the previous formulas we've been applying for prepaid forward rate and all those kind of things. When they say futures, Eurodollar futures, this is what you are applying, just 100 minus LIBOR, right? So the next thing they will start giving to you is maybe changes in basis points. So you need to know, okay, zoom in. So you need to know your basis point, how to apply it, right? We'll look at that. I'm sure we all know how to apply. So when they say 1 basis point, 1 basis point is simply 0.01%, right? Which is more like 1 divided by 1,000, right? So that is 1 basis point. So they say because the small changes in LIBOR affect the futures price. So if LIBOR changed by 1 basis point, please pay attention to what we are explaining here. If LIBOR changes by one basis point, right, it affects the Eurodollar futures price by $25. How did we arrive at the $25? We said that the Eurodollar futures contract has a notional value, or the size of the contract. Now, what I'm telling you is conventional, right? It is not logic, or it is not bias or whatever. This is how it is. So every Eurodollar futures have a size of $1 million, right? And because of this, 1 basis point change in the LIBOR affects it by 25, affects the the price of the Eurodollar futures by $25, right? So this is how you arrive at it. So 1 million times 0.01%. 0.01% is the same thing as 1 basis point, right? Times 90 over 360. So you prorate it by the number of days, and it is on a 360 basis, not 365 days. So you use 360. So 90, which is 90 represents 3 months, right? 90 divided by 360 times this, you have 24. So anytime your basis point change, it will affect your LIBOR, right? There will be a percentage change, and there will be a change on LIBOR as well, right? And each of those change affects the price of your Eurodollar by $25. So you multiply. So for ease, you now for you to see the amount of change in now we are looking in dollar value, not in the interest rates. We are looking in the dollar value. So for you to see the amount of change that is affected, or that is affected on the contract, you now need to multiply 25 by that amount of change, right? So we'll look at all this. I'm just explaining it off my head, but when we look at it with example, it will be easier for you to grasp. So we proceed, but please, before I continue, am I confusing anybody with what I've explained here? Am I confusing anybody with what I've explained? Or as a matter of fact, somebody should just tell me what you got from this, because it's very important as well. Idem, your hand is up. You can unmute and join.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, thank you.
Please, based on these 3 months, is it basically that 3 months will be 30 days? What of in case of 31 days?
That's
Is it
what
still
I
going?
told you. I said that on this Eurodollar futures, the number of days, it is a 360-day contract. So when they say 1 year, you are talking about 360. You are not using 365. So if 360, then it means every month is 30 days, whether it is February, whether it is January, whether it is September, every month is 30 days. You get? So it is on 30 days basis as well. So 30 times 3 is what we are having as 90. Do you get?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, that was a question. I thought you wanted to give me an answer, because I asked my own question. I said somebody should just recap, just explain everything that I've explained on based on what I highlighted here, this highlighted line. Explain, just give me a brief explanation about it. Okay, go ahead, Ife.
All right. Good evening, sir. From the few things
Good
I
evening, thank you.
could grab, we're talking about the labor rate, which is rates used for high, will I say high companies or what? Exchange rates used actually in the international market, and we are made to understand that this labor rate is kind of the relationship with the price with the future prices is inversely related, whereby an increase on the rate will lead to a decrease in the bond. In the price. A decrease in the rate will lead to an increase in the price also. So we're made to understand
Okay.
that using the basics point, though that place, I don't know how to explain it. I've not really grasped to the extent of using my own English.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. So you succeeded in explaining everything that is before what I highlighted, right? This my specific interest is in what I highlighted, because if you don't get this now, when we just look at small thing now, you'll be confused. So this is what I'm interested in. Somebody should explain. It is here. You can read it and understand it, but I've also explained it. So I
Let me
want
try.
somebody. Please, if you mute, if you are not speaking anymore. Thank you, Justin. Go ahead.
Okay, so you said the labor, the any the basis points, any change, any one basis point change. Like the labor is the futures price is very sensitive. Like, so a change in the labor by 1 basis point will affect it by $25. And this,
Exactly.
yes, this is gotten by understanding that the nominal value of the available money in the, like, I think
Notional.
dollars is 1 million. So
Notional.
yes, notional, thank you, sorry, the
Yes.
notional is 1 million. So base 1 basis point is 1 divided by 100, you said that, which is equivalent to
1,000.
0.01. Yes,
1,000.
1,000. Okay, 1,000,
Mm.
0.01%. So when we
Mm-hmm.
multiply it by 90 days, which is 3 months, which this labor changes. Labor is made available every 3 months. So 3 months, since we are considering a year to be 360 days, so meaning 3 months is just 30 months. We don't consider 31 days month, just 30. So 3 months will be 90 days. So 90 divided by 360 will give us the change for that 3 months. So the notional value 1 million times 0.01% times
Mm.
that will give us that $25 change by. So it means that the future price would change by $25 by when labor changes by 1 basis point.
Mm. You've done well, Justin, but towards the end there was a little fall off. I'm not talking about the futures prices changing now. We are looking about the size. You know, this is $1 million. The
Yeah.
value of the contract is $1 million, right?
Yeah.
The value of the contract is $1 million. So we are now saying, based on the change or the movement in basis points, how does it affect the value of the futures contracts, not the price of the futures contract? No, you know that there is a price, then there is also the value involved,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Do you get? So
Yes.
take that part. Otherwise, your explanation is very, very correct. Very, very
Thank you.
correct. And that is what I just wanted to ensure that everybody has grasped, because it's very important. If you don't get this as we proceed, you might get confused. So Is there anybody that is still confused about this? Okay,
Sir, I have
thank
a
you. Go ahead,
question.
Chinyere.
Okay, sir, one divided by 1,000 can't give you 0.01. It's one divided by 100. So I want to clarify, please.
1 divided by
0.01
1,000.
won't give you 0.01. It's one divided by 100. I'll give you 0.01. And from previous class, I was told that basis points you divide it by 100. So I'm trying to clarify, please.
1 basis point. I'm coming. Let me go to my Excel. 1 basis point is 0.01%, right? So, okay, this is 1 divided by 100. Okay, so you are correct. Thank you. So that should be 100. Thank you. It should be 100, not 1,000.
Okay, sir.
Sorry about that. All
Okay.
right. Thank you very much for that correction. Yes, Uchenna. Notional value is the same thing as size. It's mainly talking about the amount of money involved in that contract you get. So that is fine. We'll always have an observation or clarification. Okay, we proceed then. So so these are the features, rather. These are the features of the euro-dollar contract. We've already mentioned this where it is traded. This is the exchange that is traded. The size, each contract represents a $1 million 3 months euro-dollar deposit. Contract months. So this is traded every 3 months and it's available for 10 years, right? So the settlement of the contract settles based on the 3-month LIBOR. We've already talked about this, right? So let's look at this brief example here. Then we'll move to the hedging, how these contracts are hedged. So let's look at this one. Given the contract, okay, given the current LIBOR is 6%, right? If current LIBOR is 6%, then what will be our euro-dollar futures price? Sharp now. It's even here now.
94. Do you know
I
my
need
mic?
response.
94.
94, right?
Mm.
Now they say, and if the 3 months LIBOR rises by 8%, so there is an increase, right? So there is
Yes.
an increase from 6 to 8. The euro-dollar futures price will drop to 100, right? Here to here, there is a difference of how much? Of around 2 naira, right? And $2,
Yes.
right? So this means that for every 1 basis point, which is 0.01% change in LIBOR, the futures price changes by $25. We've already agreed that, right? Therefore, the
Yes.
change in price from 94 to 92 results in a $5,000 $5,000 um, um,
Again.
movement in the notional value, right? Good. So we have 2. This is how we arrived at the $5,000. 2, which is the change, divided, because we say for each change, right? So for each change, we have 0.1 times 25. Times 25, we will get your $5,000, right? So for a contract size of $1 million, when LIBOR decreases, or sorry, when LIBOR increases from 6 to 8, your futures price drops to 92, and that will have an effect on the contract size, right? So the
Yes.
contract size will gain this gain $5,000. So this is how the euro dollar futures contract works, right? Is this confusing for anybody? Please, call my attention. If you have an observation as well, please, sir, I don't understand. Allow Olubumi. Okay, allow Olubumi, please. Let me know what you do not understand, where you do not understand, how you do not understand. Which one have I not mentioned? What you do not understand, who you do not understand. Which one? I'm still missing one.
Why you do not understand?
And yeah, let me know. Speak up. Speak up, oh. This basis point and how you got $5 million. You see, this is why I was telling you guys that this is very important. So, apart from Justin, I know so many persons have been following us. Apart from Justin, I want somebody else to help us explain to our good friend, Alao, right? Please, somebody should explain. Chinyere, do you mind? Chinyere,
So
do you
please,
mind? You
I
yes?
so I was not really hearing you. I had issues.
Okay. Somebody else, please. I
I
want us
want
to
to
let's interact, let's talk to each other. Who else can explain how we arrived at $5,000?
Hello, sir.
Who else now? Yes, Ife.
I want to say something. Can you hear me? Okay. The five
Yes,
thousand
I can hear you,
dollars.
Ife.
We are using the change to divide the change. When it increased from 6 to 8, there was a change of value. The value also fall from 94 to 92. So the change is is two is that will I say $2? The change is 2. So 1 basis point, which is 0.0, and then multiply it by the $25. Remember, we said at every change in a basis point, you multiply by $25. That's how we got the 5,000.
Okay, well done, Ife. I'm clapping for you. I hope you can hear that. It's fine. Your explanation is fine. And since somebody else will not come in, let me just if I can say it. So, sorry, who asked that question again? Allow, right? Is that your name? Let me see. Because I like speaking to the person. That's people want to join. 2 persons, admit them. Okay. Allow, yes. So coming back to here, right? This is where I want to take it from. So you can understand how we got this $25. The $25 is gotten from here, right? This is the equation. This equation is not something I made up. It is what is you get. So we say that every contract size is $1 million, and every 0.01%, which is same as 1 basis point, right? Affects the futures contract size, the Eurodollar futures contract size. Now there are two things involved: the futures price and the contract size, right? So the contract size is ordinarily it is $1 million. So now the basis point is 0.01%, right? The the contract is for 360 days. But remember in the formula, they say the annualized value, right? The annualized LIBOR rate. So because we are looking at annualized, it makes sense for us to bring it down to the 3 months period. So we prorate this, right? So that's 90 divided by 360. And we say that this 360 is conventional. We are not using 31 days. We are not using 28 days. We are using 30 days for every month, right? So if you do that, multiply this by this and by this, you will get $25. Now, so this $25 is constant. Have it at the back of your mind. It's constant. Now, when we are now looking at this brief example here, we are now saying that if you look at this example, we are now saying that 100, they said the initial LIBOR rate is 6%, right? The initial LIBOR rate is 6%. You have your futures price formula as 100 minus your analyzed this thing, LIBOR rate, right? So this 6% that they're giving to us is our annualized rate, right? So if they had said that the 3 months contract or something, we know that we'll be multiplying this 6 by 4 to get the annualized rate, right? But now they just say the LIBOR is 6%, so we take it as our annualized rate. So 100 minus 6 is 94. And if after 3 months LIBOR rises to 8%, right? So the new annualized LIBOR rate is now 8%. So I told you that inverse relationship thing. That was why I brought it. So as you see that LIBOR rises, and LIBOR rose to 8%, right? Now, LIBOR rose to 8%. Happened to our futures price? It dropped to $292. So this 8% from 6% to 8% represents what? 2 basis points movement upward, right? 2 basis point movement. And we've already mentioned that for 1 basis point, for 0.0 and 1 basis point, which is the same thing as 0.01, we have a $25 this thing, right? $25 movement in the size of the contract, right? So therefore, for every 1 basis point in the LIBOR, the future changes by $25. Therefore, the change in price from $94 to 92 results in a gain of this thing of $5,000. How do you get this $5,000? Your 2 divided by 0.01, right? Your 2 divided by 0.01 times 25. So if you do that, you should arrive at $5,000. I think this should give you around 200 times 25. You arrive at $5,000. So this is how the let me go back to your question. You say the basis point and how you got the 5 million. So this is how the basis point arose and how it affects our 5 million. Are we clear, Alao? Please respond. Okay, thank you. Is there anybody that is still not sure of something there? Okay, so continue. So when you want to hedge, the Eurodollar futures, how to use the Eurodollar futures. Now for the borrowers, right? You know that we are looking at, so they are mainly for people that are into loans and all those kind of things. So how will you use your Eurodollar futures to hedge your loan position so that you do not lose? I'm going to read this and I want somebody to explain it. It's very simple. Based off of on what we've been learning so far. Or you can just read it yourself. Read it to yourself from wherever. If you cannot go to your note, read from my screen. Somebody, please, no time. Somebody just volunteer. Read.
Let me read. So if a company plans to borrow $1 million in 3 months and is worried that interest rates will increase, they can take a short position in Eurodollar futures. If the interest rate rises, the future price will fall. since labor increases, and the company will make a gain that offsets the higher borrowing costs. Example.
Does this make sense? Just stop there.
Yes.
But does this make sense? It makes
Yes.
sense. How?
Yeah.
How?
Because when interest rates rises, for instance, we looked at when it was 6% and then it went to 8%, the effect on the future price was that it reduced the future, like it reduced the future price, and obviously
Let me
we
hold you
will,
there. Let me hold you there. Yes,
yes,
it reduced the futures price. Calm down. Justin, calm down. It reduced the futures price. But
yeah,
remember, you took a position on the futures, right?
yes,
You took a position on the futures. What position did you take?
Short.
euro dollar,
Short
a
position.
short,
You took
yes,
a
a
short
short,
position. And what
yes, yes.
happens? What happens? What happens to a short position when price falls?
When price falls,
What happens to a short
I'm in gain.
position
I'm
when
in
price
gain.
falls?
Profit.
I will be in gain.
You are in gain. You
Yes,
gain when the price falls, right?
yeah,
So that
yeah,
gain that you are taking, you will now use it to go and offset. You know, you took a loan, right?
yeah.
The interest rate increased from 6 to 8, like you mentioned. You will now use
Yeah.
that gain that you made from shorting this
Okay,
contract to go and
okay.
offset the the extra interest that you will pay due to increments in
Yeah,
LIBOR. Does it make
yeah.
sense?
Yes, yes, no, it does.
You you get.
Thank you, sir.
So this is
Yes, yes,
why I
I get
decided
it.
to stop it here.
Yes.
Good. So this is how you hedge using your euro dollar future. So when they throw the question at you, you need to know what you need to know who you are in that trade first. Are you the borrower or the lender? You know this now, this hedging now we are looking at is from the borrower's position. You that
Yes.
is going to borrow. So you need to know who you are in that distance. Then, when you are going into your euro dollar transaction, into your euro dollar transaction, you also need to know what position you need to take. So, if you are a borrower, you need to short your euro dollar futures for you to hedge, so that when it is falling, when the interest rate increase, what will happen? Your futures price will
Again.
fall, and because it is a short position, you gain. So you take that gain and offset the increment that has occurred on your loan due to the increase in interest rates,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay, good. Please, is there anybody that don't understand? Hold on, give me a minute. Hello, I'm back.
Okay.
I, I was saying, is there anybody that don't understand this thing, right? That what we have explained now. Okay, so we proceed. So from the lender's position, right? So from the lender's position, so from the lender now, given what we understand from the borrower, from the lender, we need to understand that we are taking a what? A long position, right? From the lender's perspective, you need to take a long position in the Eurodollar futures so that if LIBOR reduces, what happens? Your futures price increases. As your futures price increases, your long position gains. You know that as the lender, you are the one that gives somebody money. If interest increase, it means you will earn lesser than what you expected. If interest reduce, you earn lesser than what you expected. So the gain that you are going to make from your Eurodollar futures contract because you longed that position, the gain you are making there, you use it to compensate yourself for the loss that you are getting as a result of a fall in interest rates. Do we understand this? So this is the technique that is involved in Eurodollar contracts, right? This is the technique that is involved in Eurodollar contracts. So why use LIBOR instead of Treasury bill? Mainly we use LIBOR because LIBOR is the interbank this thing. It has more risk, right? There is more risk involved in LIBOR other than the risk-free rate. That's why we use LIBOR in this. So with this, I think we are done with this. Then I have some questions which I pick off the material. Just about 5 questions. So I mentioned last week that I was going to add some more questions here because these questions here, for the prepaid contracts and all that we've been learning, these questions, they involve dividend, right? Not that they are not good questions, they are still good questions we can work with, but I wanted questions that did not involve dividend. However, it is what it is. We'll still look at them. Right? But I won't be looking at all. I'll pick a few. Solve it for the sake of time. I wanted to end this class by 10:30. I still hope I can achieve that. So let me see if I can solve one or two. Wait, though. Is this everything? Okay. We're on track. Please, a minute. I need to get what I'm coming. Sorry, I'm back now. So let's look at the first question. Maybe because of my target. So I just have a question that is even a bit out of what we want to do now. I observe that sometimes my colleagues, they drop something on working notes. Is it that that's solution to their questions, right?
Yes, sir.
I'm asking, oh,
Yes, sir.
okay,
Yes, sir.
solution to questions they drop in class. Okay, so maybe after now, I'll solve all these ones. So maybe I'll just look at one or two questions as time will permit, because I need to finish by 10:30. I have a report I need to work on this night against tomorrow morning. So we'll just look at one question. Then maybe I have time before Wednesday, I'll drop the rest. Or you can use the one that will solve and attempt the other ones. We've already done examples that explain all this, I believe. So let's look at this first question. Right? Are we together now?
Yes, sir. We are together.
Okay. So let's look at this first question. They say a $50 stock pays 1,000, $1 dividend every 3 months. With the first dividend coming 3 months from today, the continuously compounded risk-free rate is given as. Okay, the continuously compounded risk-free rate is given as 6%. So the first question, the first requirement there is, what is the price of the prepaid forward contract that expires 1 year from today, immediately after the fourth quarter? Right? One requirement there say, what is the price of the forward contract that expires at the same time? So now, this number one question, I'm just going to go high above. Number one question. Yes. This is the prepaid forward. This is our prepaid forward, right? This is the prepaid forward formula now. Answer me, so I know I'm talking to my guys.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
Good.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
You know, with this one, we were looking at interest rate, right? But however, these questions, they are giving us, what was it called? Dividends, right? So it's almost the same thing. The only thing we need to do is that instead of interest rates now, we need to bring in the dividend. So let's go back to the question. I think they also gave us interest rate in that question. They say it pays one dividend, right? One dividend every 3 months, with the first dividend coming 3 months from today. Okay, so let's go to Excel. Delete this. For my guys on YouTube, I'll zoom out in hope that you are able to see it. So now, when I was teaching you about those prepaid forward contracts, right? I told you something about present value. And I remember that I made a lot of emphasis on that. Who can remind me and why? Who can remind me why we need to bring the present values into those prepaid forward contracts? So let me copy the details of this question. So it's a $50 stock pays dividend. So the stock market price. So this is our EXO, right, from our formula. Coming here. So I'll say XO.
I think
Yes, go
for
ahead
the
and
preferred
explain.
forward, the person is actually you are paying them ahead, so it has to be discounted.
Exactly.
And it has discounted because if that your money was actually invested, it would have been yielding interest. So since you are now putting your money to get that for that money in front, so it has to be discounted to compensate you. Then by the time you put in those rules on the formula, it will now give you the money that you want to receive at the end of the contract. That's it.
Okay, that's a good explanation. Thank you. Dividend. Okay. We have our dividend as $1, right? Our risk-free rate is 6%, right? So let me copy this. It's even good we are using this. Risk-free rate is how many percent? 6%, right? What else do we need to bring in? We have E, right? E. 2.17828. What is this our E?
Euler number.
Who can
Euler
tell me?
number. Euler numbers.
Okay, that is great. So 6%. This
I
is
think that
6%.
is correct. The Euler number is it not 2.71? I don't know.
It's 2.17828. I want to screenshot this.
It's 2.71828, sir.
71828, right? Okay.
71828, right? Okay. Sir.
So thank you for that.
So please, this 2.7188, is it a constant this thing, or is it just for 1 year? So can you hear me?
I can hear you, and I was about
Okay.
to respond. I said, this is your
Sorry.
question now. We need to consult the gods. So.
How?
Okay, can somebody help me answer a question? So it's a part of the formula, right? This is the E. So I'm screenshotting this so that all of you will see it, right?
Okay, sir.
Okay. So this question is saying, I want to come to Excel completely. Let me leave that place. I'm coming.
Sorry, sir. So which means the E is constantly is
Yes,
it E?
yes,
That is
yes,
constantly
yeah,
okay. Thank you.
yes. So let me copy this question. Sorry, screenshot it. So I'll just move it to Excel. Copy and paste it here. So everything is here. We can just be working here, right? It's better this way. We don't need to be jumping from there to there. And so we have our formula. We have everything we need here. Better. Let me do this more. Okay, so I think we are ready to go. So the question says, is stock A $50 stock pays one dividend every 3 months. Every 3 months. So it means that it is paying quarterly, right? Are we
Yes.
Yes.
together? We are working together.
Yes, sir.
It is
Yes, sir.
3 months from today, right? So today is now, right? So the continuously compounded risk-free rate. You see this question, you know, I told you something about whether they will mention it is if it is continuously compounded or not. So this one is mentioned here. So that's why we are going to use this formula. Am I making sense? Good. Okay, so the continuously compounded risk-free rate is 6%. What is the price of a prepaid forward contract that expires 1 year from now? So let's establish something first before we continue. If something is paid 3 months, every 3 months. So if they are saying they want to know what it will pay fully 1 year from now, so it means they want to know for the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and fourth quarter, right? Are we together?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So if they want to know first quarter, second quarter, fourth quarter, and the dividend is paid is 1 naira every month. So it means that we want to know 1 year from now what will be paid 1 year from now, right? So we need to bring this dividend to the present value. Do we agree with that?
Yes.
Good. So we do PV, right? For the first quarter is 0.25. For the second quarter is 0.5. For the third quarter will be what?
0.75.
0.75. And the fourth quarter is what?
100. It's
1.
1.00.
1.
Yes, 1.00. So this is what we have. So in this our equation, what have I gotten here now? All these things, what are they?
Cash flow.
This is our T, right? So we've gotten the T here. Now, you remember that this equation is what we are looking at, this formula that we have here. That was the confusion I was telling you about. Sahid, go ahead, ask your question.
So my question is that they say that the dividend is for every 3 months, and you did for and based on this present value, you did for first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and fourth quarter. I don't understand, sir.
Okay, it's a good question. A stock pays a $1 dividend every 3 months, with the first dividend coming 3 months from today. The continuously compounded risk-free rate is 6%. What is the price of a prepaid forward contract that expires 1 year from today? So yes, the dividend is paid 3 months, quarterly, but they are asking you, they want to know the prepaid forward price. They want to know the prepaid forward contract, right? The forward contract price for that dividend 1 year from now. So it means that how many 3 months make 1 year? 3 months now. That's first
Oh, yes,
quarter,
sir.
second quarter, third quarter. So that is why we are doing first quarter, second quarter, because we are looking at a 1 year period.
All right, I got it, sir.
Okay. So I'm going back to this formula now, because I know that because I paste this formula here, some of you might be confused, right? I know that I think I treated prepaid contracts under under options. We treated prepaid contracts when we were looking at either options or forward prices. I know that we've treated something like this before. But the reason why I want to explain something here now is that this formula is almost the same thing. The difference is that why I'm bringing this formula here, the difference is that now we are looking at dividend, right? We are looking at dividend. And in the text, I was trying to see a particular question that we can apply this formula to. This one for just in prepaid forward with interest rates. And I didn't see anyone, or the ones I saw, they were very much advanced, which is not needed for your level. So I didn't want to waste our time with too many things that are not relevant. So I didn't bring them in. So I'll still try to look for.
But we are professionals.
Yes, you are professional, so my brother. But let me tell you the truth that there are still very much advanced things in this things we are learning. Like what the questions I saw, they included contango and convexity, and those things you don't need it because it's not in your ICANN syllabus. I'm working with the ICANN syllabus. I've checked, it's not there. That's why I did not bring it in. You get, it's not there, so ICANN will not ask you, and I'm sure you don't need it. But you can go and read up. I can, you know what I would do?
No, sir.
Yes, go ahead. What do you want to say?
No, sir, you say we can go and read it up. Even if I can don't need it. Sir, we cannot read anything that I can don't need to.
Exactly. That is why it is not here. So the questions I saw included all those requirements for all those things, and I just felt okay, no need to put it here, right? So I will still look for questions that we can apply this, but I just want to use this formula. Or let me check prepaid forward contracts. Let me check online. Let me get the actual formula that we need to apply. Sorry, this is where we are. What's going on? Okay, close this. 3 minutes more. Jesus. 10:30 was my target too. Sorry. Prepaid forward contract for dividends. When you are working with dividends, let me see if I will get this on images. Formula. See, Google is not even giving me what I want. I think this is what I might be looking for. Forward price. Yes, something here. But I think this is the formula that we are looking for, yes. I don't want to click on it though. Still taking me somewhere else. Let me just screenshot it and bring it in. But this one is not giving me for continuous numbers. And for continuous compounding rather. There's no ULAS formula here. Okay, you know what I would do? Let's just work with this because of time, right? So when I will take my time, I'll work on these questions, and then on that note, I'll put the solutions in my notes. Then I will also impute the formula. So the next note I will share on Wednesday will come with the solution to most of these questions, and then we'll also come with the applicable formula for each of them. I think that should work for us, right? Hello, do you agree with me?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. We agree, sir.
Okay, so let's just continue. So I'm bringing this formula in because this formula is very similar. But I will just explain where the differences lie, right? I'll just explain where the differences lie. So if it were maybe in a classroom now, it would have been easier for me to write the formula out. But because we are using online this thing, and I wasn't expecting that these were the questions that would be in that material. So we just have to work with what we have, right? So sorry about that. So so we have our spot price, which is 50, right? Which in this formula will be your XO, right? So now we want to work out this up part of it. But now, in this formula here, this RO minus ROI, we are looking at domestic and foreign interest rates. So that does not apply here, right? So what we will do is that we will bring our Euler's from this thing number here. Bring it here. I want to apply it. So if I'm to apply this, because it's the present value, right? So this will be equal to, if I had gotten this formula now, it would have been way more easier to explain this. This will be equal to minus 6 raised to power. Is your present value, right? Raised to power minus 6 minus 6. How do I do this? I want to make it simple to understand. This will be equal to, let's bring in the period first. What is this 6? Our risk-free rate, right? 6 times your period, which is 0.25. Zero. You bring this in. So this will now be equal to this raised to power. Where is that? Raised to power this. Right? Times 1. Times 1. This will be the present value of the dividend for the first, the dividend for the first 3 months. Do we agree with this? Or I've ended up confusing you guys?
Yes, sir, confused.
You are confused. Just do your, if you have your calculator there, do your present value. Do present value, taking 0.25, right? 0.25 and 0.25 as the time period, right? So you can still do, you take 0.25 as the time period, and then you take 0.6 as your risk-free rate. Do the present value for that. You are discounting your dividend of $1, right? So do the present value of that. Has anybody done it? We should have 0.98. Maybe some approximation differences. Nobody is responding. No.
So we're taking 1 as the present value.
No, now. one is your this thing, your dividend now. Do the present value of that dividend using this. You know, you are using 0. You are using your Euler's number. That's why I brought in this value. So in this is the same thing as this side of this equation, right? E raised to power, but in this case we are not bringing in arrow. Just do minus ROI. This minus ROI now represents this part that I'm going to highlight. Your risk-free rate, right?
Oh, okay, so I've gotten it.
Yes. Then raise it to power 2. Raise it to, sorry, times this thing times the time, which is 0.225 for that first 3 months. Do you have it now?
Yes.
You have it, right? Others, please confirm that you have it.
So I'm trying to
Yes.
understand something. Wait, you do x0 is your x0 will be your
No,
it will
leave
be your
x0. Leave x0 first. Leave x0 first. We are trying to determine the present value. The present
okay.
value, right? We've explained why
Yes.
we need to bring in the present value, and we all agree with that. So now I'm not saying based on this formula. That's why I brought in this formula. So now I've explained why this formula is different from the way we are going to apply, because we are now looking at the dividend value, not the interest rate, right? So now I'm saying if you are doing present value of your dividend, you have your continuous this thing. You have the continuous what is it called again, self? Plenty talk.
But that's
Because the question says what? Continuous compounding. That's the word I'm looking for. The question says
okay.
continuous compounding. That's why we have to bring in your Euler's number here. So it's not just your normal this thing. So I'm showing you this e raised to power minus RY raised to power minus t, close brackets t, right? If you do that, you will have this value. So I'm asking you to punch it or there.
So this 0.988, please, how did you get it?
Okay, E is
Mm,
2.17828, right?
78. Mm-hmm.
Good. Now, the interest rate, which is your risk-free rate, is
Is
0.6.
6 times the T.
0.06, which is what we are using to
0.06.
discount. Abi?
Yes.
Good. Now, the time that we are looking at is T. Yeah, right? These are the
Mm-hmm.
different periods which represent different quarters. So now come back to this equation that I put here now. Don't forget, this is not the applicable formula for this purpose, but it is related. That is why I'm bringing it in. I've explained that I will solve it again and send an updated note, but it is related. So what I'm saying is, in this bracket that you have here, instead of ROY, put 6% minus 6%. You know you are bringing it back to the present value. So you do minus 6%. Then you close the bracket and multiply it by 0.25. Do you understand now?
Yes, I'll do 2.17 raised to
2.17828. Yes.
raised to power 0. That will be raised to power 1 because 0 point
My
0.
raised to power minus 0.06. Don't get it wrong.
Okay.
Do you have that now?
Raised to power 0.25 again.
No, raised to power 0.06. Then on that 0.06 is what you are multiplying by 0.25. That's why I did this thing separate. If you look at, I did 0.06 times 0.25. I did that one first before I now came here to raise it to the power of this. You understand? That's how you should work it out, and you will arrive at this answer. if you multiply it by 1.
Okay.
Do you get?
Yeah. Thank you.
Please, is anybody still confused? Are we still together? Okay, I'll just proceed. So we do for the second one. So we are doing this guy 0.06. Sorry. Minus this guy times this guy, right? Bring it here. And then we now say this guy is raised to the power of this guy, right? So that one you have 0.976. We'll do the same thing again because we are discounting for four quarters, right? You do this guy, sorry, minus this guy times here, right? Close it. This raised to power is 0.99655, right? Then we have the next one is equal to, the final one is 1, right? So you say minus this guy times this guy, then equals to this one equal to this one, right? Do we agree?
Yes, sir.
So we all know that our dividend, right? Normally we are supposed to multiply this by our dividend. So if we multiply each of them by 1, which is our dividend, right? To discount it to the present value, is the same thing as just these values here, right? So I drag this down. Ish is wrong. This one don't go. This one don't enter another thing. Okay. So this is the value that we have. So just the way you do your distance. So your total present value of dividends, right? So this is your total present value of dividends. So you have 3.88, right? So let's call this total PV of dividends. So I have the formula that I'm working with here. My only problem is how do I make it? Let me see if I can write it out. It will make more sense if you guys are seeing it. So merge. So the formula that I'm working with here is, let's say, the prepaid I'll try my best to see if I can put this out here. Prepaid forward price is equal to your spot rates, which is X of the spot rate, which is XO. Excuse me for one moment. Minus sum, We know this sum formula, which is the same. We all know what that sum formula is now, which is, let me put capital letter E, right? This is sum. Respond to me if you know what I'm trying to say by this E here, so that if you are writing it out, you will get it. Yes, summation, exactly. Summation of your dividend times the Euler's number raised to power, open bracket. So you know this, that this, what is in this bracket is raised to power, right? Raised to power, open bracket, R T. What have I done? Raised to power, open bracket, R, and close the bracket. See, oops, maybe that thing is, this is the formula that we are working with. So if you look at this formula, you can see that this part is very similar to this. The only difference is, but I will still try to write it out in a way that I will get it from the distance in a way that it will represent something like this one that we have, right? But based on what I've explained, take this, write it out somewhere on your note so that you will know that this is what we are working with. So I can delete this now. I'm deleting it. So this is what we are working with. So this is when you have dividend. Let me correct this to capital letter D. This is when you have dividend. So that is why I did the total PV. So this is summation D of E raised to power. So that is why I did the sum of this, right? Going by the question, they say, what is the price of the prepaid forward contract that expires 1 year from today? At the fourth quarter dividend, you get. So, are we clear on this now? Please.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I still have 27 people. Okay. So if you sum all this, you have this. So based on our formula, our prepaid, I'll just put FP, which is our prepaid forward price, will now be equal to our XO, which is our spot price at 50, minus this value. So this is what you should have as your prepaid forward price, $46.11. So this should be in USD. So we have answered question 1. Then the next question is, what is the price of the forward contract that expires at the same time? What is the price of the forward contract that expires at the same time? So I need to get, let me understand this second question. What is the price of the forward contract that expires at the same time? Oh, I get. Okay, so this is the prepaid forward contract, right? I was thinking of something else. This is the prepaid forward contract. So sorry, prepaid. So now what they're asking is just the forward price. So let me say forward price. Now I get what they are saying. This is, let me put it properly. This is prepaid. Prepaid forward price. So assuming we are paying today for the forward contract, right? That is the whole idea of prepaid. This would have been the forward price. Taking idea of this dividend, I've explained why we need to do present value of dividend before, is to compensate, right, for paying today. Instead of that money would have earned us dividend. So the forward price, so now we are not taking into, this is the forward price assuming we are paying based on the future date, right? Assuming we are paying based on the future date. Now we have the prepaid forward price as 40. So if we are paying this in the future, so we know that this prepaid forward price is because it's prepaid, it is the forward price as at today. Do you agree with me? It is the forward price as at today. Now, this other one will be the forward price as at 1 year from today. So if we have this forward price as at today, the only thing we need to do using this one is to take it to the future. Am I explaining something that makes sense? So
Yes,
it means that we just, yes,
I say yes.
Okay, so it means that this forward price that we have here, we need to take it to the future by doing what? By growing it at the risk-free rate. So it means that we just use the risk-free rate as the growth rate on this same price, right? So to do this, the formula will just be the same. So if you have your prepaid forward price, right? You already have your prepaid forward price. So getting your forward price from that, you can just say forward, your forward price. Your forward price is equal to the prepaid price. Prepaid price. Prepaid forward. Prepaid forward. Prepaid forward is FP. Let me see. Prepaid forward times your Euler's number. Don't forget we are dealing with continuous compounding, right? Your Euler's number raised to power. This is the futures price, right? Raised to power R. Close your bracket. So now we are doing what? The future value, right? The future value of our prepaid price. So this is what we'll do, right? So we'll just come here and say this is equal to this times, okay, sorry. We'll say this is equal to what is our this thing? Our risk-free rate is 6%, right? So 6% times, now we are looking at 1 year from today, right? We are looking at 1 year from today. So we are going to say that this is 6% times 1. I'm coming. Yes, 6% times 1. Okay, I'm correct, right? That's 6% times 1. So that's R times T. Okay, I'm correct. I was thinking we'll need to do it for the different periods, but it's 1 year. So we'll just look at the 1 year time period. Do you understand? I got confused a bit. I was thinking we need to do it from the different, but there is just 1 here. So it's 0.6 times 1. Then we come here, we bring this our prepaid price. We know that we have our Euler's number, right? So this will now be this raised to power. Excuse me, this. So we have this. Do you understand how I got this? So this part here, this what I'm highlighting as red, is equal to this e raised to power RT, right? And then we have our prepaid forward. So the futures price, which is the same, the future value, which is the same thing as our forward price, is equal to 46.1148 times this guy. And we have our answer as 48.34. So you know why this future and this forward price is greater than the prepaid price is because this one is discounted for the dividend that we'll miss by paying today. You get. So this reduced price is to compensate us for the dividend that we will miss because we are paying today. So this will be the answer to this second requirement here, 48.32 USD. Please, is anybody confused? We have taken way more than I expected. I want to end the class here, but I just want to be sure that for the how many persons, the 24 persons that are left, you understand everything that we've explained, or 23, or any question? Any question?
Purpose, can you go back to your Excel? I'm still trying to write out something.
Okay. What are you writing out? Let me know.
The forward price, this thing. Solution. I'm trying
Okay,
to
please, when you are writing all this format, yeah, go ahead. So this is more like the present value, and this is future value, right? It's just, but we are looking at the discrete numbers, right? We are looking at the compounded for numbers. That's why we are bringing in the Euler's number. So this is what we have. If you are done, we'll end the class here. Unfortunately, I cannot meet up my target for today with you, but we'll
Okay,
continue
sir.
on Wednesday.
The forward price is the present value, right?
Yes. The forward price is the future value, while the
Forward
prepaid
price is
forward
the
price is the
future.
present value.
Okay. Then the one on red, you said you got it by
Yes. So this value is simply the Euler's value multiplied by, this is just e raised to power RT, right? This, which is the
yeah,
same thing as this Euler's value multiplied by 0.06. Yes.
06. Okay,
Yeah,
then
and you know
times
why we
one
have
because it is
0.06
one,
is because we did the risk-free rate times the time period for 1 year.
which is
You
one.
understand? So yes, which is 1. So if it were we are applying it to like the third quarter, it would have been on 0.75. If we are applying it to second quarter, 0.5. You understand that part?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So this is what we have, guys. Sorry, I cannot continue at this point. I wish you all a blessed week till we see on Wednesday. Take good care of yourself. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Good night. Thank you, sir.
Good night.